look, come January next time, we're going to have a revenue increase for high-income earners if I'm still the President of the United States. And he'll have the ability to impose that if he chooses. So let's just posit for a minute, hate to do this as a Republican, that he's in the position to do that. So that'll be a revenue increase of some sort. Are those two things in and of themselves, spending restraint and revenue increases of the kind that we're talking about, sufficient to deal with the long-term structural deficit that you described?
No, I don't think they are, and I think standard CBO calculations would support that. Discretionary spending is not particularly high as a share of GDP relative to history. I think you could cut discretionary spending pretty close to zero and not solve the problem in the long term. So focusing only on discretionary spending is probably not going to be by itself sufficient on the spending side. And
or if and I don't mean to put words in your mouth, or only on the revenue side. I mean only on the tax side.
Well, I was going to say on the other side that there are many arguments for and against changing the taxes on higher income individuals, but that by itself is not going to close the budget deficit either. We need a much broader set of policies. I think the elephant in the room is really healthcare costs. Under the as I mentioned in my testimony, we're heading towards 9 or 10% of GDP just from federal spending on healthcare, and then another 8 or 9% eventually in private sector healthcare spending. So that's a broad issue that affects the budget and affects the efficiency of our economy. That I don't think we're going to get a real solution there without some kind of way of addressing that problem.
I agree very much.